Tony, I would imagine you like the rebound that you guys had after Friday's game. Can you go
Sure.
into what you
Yeah.
liked, what you guys did well on Saturday to turn the page?
Yeah, I think Friday night, we played a team that was their first home game. Clarkson was a ranked team coming into the year. They lost two tough games at Penn State that looked a little lopsided with the score, but they were a lot closer than that. So they played pretty well at Penn State. So they came home and we walked into a team that was desperate to get their season going, and they came out and got their game going faster than we could get ours going Friday. So we were a little bit flat-footed to start Friday. We stayed in the game. We 2-2 in the third. They were able and sharp enough to, take advantage of the power play that they got late in the game. We didn't take advantage of our chances, even though we were in the game in the second period. So I think it was a good, like you say, response Saturday to be ready to start the game and for us to dictate how the game was going to be played. And I think our response, we put St. Lawrence in a pretty tough spot to start the game, similar to the way Clarkson did to us on Friday. So, but we came out of the gate off. Everybody was energized like we have to be successful, and got in on the forecheck and really took the game over right from the start.
How much has Sean Doogie progressed from last year? Is it noticeable to you that he's made a transition in confidence or in just finishing the plays that he's been getting?
Yeah, I think last year he was an effective player. He didn't score as much as maybe we thought he would his first year, but I think he learned a lot on the college game. I think he did a lot of things over the summer to make sure he was mentally ready and sharp to be able to find ways to produce at the levels that he's had in his previous years and teams and leagues that he's played in. And he's a scorer. He makes plays, and he's 5'3". He plays like he's 6'3", and he goes to the hard areas. He's around the net. He scores his goals from a short area around the net. He's not scoring goals from the top of the circles or with big powerful shots from the outside. He's scoring them by paying a price, and that's been the most. All of his goals this year have been exactly the same. He's around the net. He's getting rebounds, and he's paying a price to score the goals. So he's been great. Obviously. The confidence thing, like you mentioned, when you start the season and a couple go in for you, it means a lot. And he's getting, regular reps on the power play. I think he likes the line mates. He's playing with Baker and Weissbach, two guys that can create some space for him. They get a lot of pucks to the net for him. So I think that combination's worked well for him as well.
I was going to ask you how they complement. Sean complements the other two and vice versa.
Yeah, well, I think Linus's speed creates a lot of space for the other two. I think Baker's got great speed down the middle. His tenacity and his strength on the puck and his work ethic is what makes him who he is. And then Sean's grit. I don't think he's a speedster for a little guy. He's more of a darter. He darts to areas and gets available by his quickness. So I think they complement each other really well. They've been productive so far. And they're going to have to be. I mean, that's going to be a big line for us. We're going to rely on them to score a lot for us this year, and they're getting regular reps on the power play. All three of them are on one of the power play units, and expect big things out of those guys.
How did Daniel look in goal after looking?
Daniel
back
was
at it?
great. He had to wait a little bit longer than we thought to get him in a game. With what happened the first weekend with Barry getting a shutout on Friday. So Daniel waited a little longer than we wanted to as far as getting him into play, but he was really solid. He didn't have a ton of work, but he made he a couple breakaways against. He didn't give up a ton of rebounds. He looked like we had hoped he would do as far as his confidence and how he challenged shooters, and looks bigger than that. That's for sure.
Maybe the answer is in how they perform, but how long do you project going to or staying with a situation where you've got two goalies kind of going back and forth and trading
this
starts?
weekend again, and probably next weekend as well. And after the North Dakota series, if we decide one guy's playing much better than the other guy, then we would maybe make a decision. But again, both of those guys are guys that we expect to play throughout the year, that we think we can win with, and Daniel's the more of the wild card from the standpoint that he doesn't have a ton of college experience, but he's certainly got off to a good start Saturday night, and if he can continue to grow and develop and play the way he's capable of, him and Bear is a great tandem to have.
Tony over here.
Yep.
It's every year Michigan Tech, they get upset road wins on the road. What do you already know they're going to bring to the Kohl Center this weekend?
Yeah, they scratch and claw. They work hard. I just watched the Duluth games that they played a couple weeks ago. Duluth is an elite team, obviously, and the Friday night game, I thought Michigan Tech probably played well enough to win. They didn't. Saturday, they got a little bit away from their game and I got a little bit sloppy, and Duluth took advantage of it. But they're a hard-working team. I think they get fired up for this because it's a great rivalry to them, just as it is to us. The old Tech-Wisconsin battles are fresh in their program's mind. They'll bring a lot of fans with them up to Madison for the game. So it'll be exciting. We can't look past them because I think they're a team that they were ranked at the start of the year. They have enough talent and grit and work ethic and that to be a ranked team throughout the year. So it'll be another good test for us. And I think that coming off Saturday's game, was really solid for us. But for us, it's each and every week we got to find ways to get better and grow as a team. And this will be a good challenge for us with Tech coming in.
What were you hoping to get out of shifting the deep pairs, the two deep pairs that you did on Saturday, and did you see what you were hoping to get?
Yeah, and again, I don't think there was anything wrong with the pairs on Friday. I just think, Mark and I had talked about it after the game of maybe, making a switch, and we thought the timing was right. And throughout the game, they're going to play with different pairs after penalty kills and power plays and things like that. So, I liked what they did as pairs on Saturday. I thought, getting Ty and Key together was important. I thought those guys were exceptional. Actually, all the pairs were really good, but Keandre had a big game. And Ty's been quietly exceptional in his first 4 games. Emerson, he's been really solid. He's been way more physical and confident with that part of the game, than most freshmen. He's been really solid.
Is that something you are going to expect out of him, that he's going to be one of those guys that if you don't notice him, he's doing what he's supposed to do and he fits into that profile a little
That's
bit?
kind of been, you kind of watched the team he was on last year with all the higher draft picks with the U.S. program. He kind of flew under the radar and slipped into the 3rd round. He's probably a better talent than that. He's consistent. He's smart. But he's got a little bit more grit than people give him credit for, and he was real physical. Both those games over the weekend, he made some big hits to try to get our team going, and like I said, I think that pair works well together.
I've got one more.
Okay,
Big
for sure.
picture one here.
Yep.
You knew when you came in here as coach, you were going to have to build up the program support-wise, get the crowds back. Where do you think you are in that? In that process, you've gained some fans back. I think you get some buzz back, but it still feels like it's the wheels are in motion a little bit. Is that a good way of
and I
putting
think it's in fairness, we got a lot going on campus with all our other sports doing really well, from football, volleyball, basketball. Straight across the board, our program's going well, and we didn't do well for a few years, so we have to get the credibility back of putting on a team that you can trust that every night they're going to play well, they're going to play hard, and they're going to have a really good chance to win. And I think this group is really young. I think it's really exciting. I think the people that do come watch our team and look at the guys we have personnel-wise are exciting to watch. The results will come. It's all part of the process. So I think I'm happy with where we're at. I didn't expect us, our first year back to have 15,000 in the building. I knew that there had to be some work to be done, but I like the product that we have. I like the character of the players that we have in our room. I think it represents our university really well, and I think the fans will take to that. So, hopefully we can just continue to play well, and eventually they will be back.